Welcome to Momentum Monday. Today is a Monday for a change. May 27, Memorial Day.
First day of summer, Ivan. Where are the shades?
First day of summer was May 21st, by the way, but here you go.
Rachel gave me bad info. Okay, she said it was first day of summer, so we're gonna leave them on. All right, as you can see, I'm back in Coronado. Life is good. So we just went to the memorial. Look, I look like an angel with that thing over my head, huh?
Exactly, yes. Like an angel investor.
I've just done terrible. Other than owning a little Bitcoin, I've had a very below average year. Everybody knows this already. It's been one of those years. Ivan, let's pull up the S&P and try and figure out. I mean, I'm doing very little. I think people that follow me know.
Right, let me share my screen real quick. Okay.
All right. Can we pull up the 200-day moving average, Ivan?
It's already here. That's the black line.
Okay. So I think Ivan will walk through this, but basically, we're just chop city. Obviously, it was a great for those that caught the bottom in December. Fantastic. It's a reminder how hard it is to time the market because pretty much we got all those gains back. I'm looking at a lot of industries, Ivan, from defense to tech. And obviously in some software, we got some new all-time highs, obviously in some really good runs in security software, but we're really at a flat line 200-day moving average. Very hard for stocks on average to just jihad to the upside in this market. What are you seeing?
I think one of the major reasons we had that big rally.
We just got, it's just, our faces are on right now. It's just the charts.
It's just the charts.
Okay.
Yeah. One of the big reasons we had that big rally in the first place was that the market was pricing in a potential trade deal between China and the US, because if there's no trade deal, there is a very high probability that there will be recession, at least for China, maybe for most of the world. And as you can see here, when it became clear that that deal is not going to happen, the market started to pull back.
Yeah.
And it's been really choppy in the past few weeks, which is, I mean, the higher volatility is great for intraday traders, but it can be a killer for anyone else.
Yeah, the best performing asset of the year right now, this will give you an idea, is now granted they had a bad 2017, 2008, is Bitcoin. So if we pull up Bitcoin, a lot of the crypto assets, I don't know if you can pull up Bitcoin, but
I can put it up here, but I can open it on a different screen. Let's
pull it up because it's had another up 7-8% weekend.
Real quick, crypto, and wow, it's almost 9,000. Incredible.
Yeah, so we can see that in December when the market's bottom, it's not just, hey, the market, it's literally. I'm thinking about 6 weeks ago when I had Farboot on my first Linsanity episode, I was pretty bullish on crypto at about 5. It had already run up from 4 to 5. And I believe we're seeing, and again, the volume is not quite there and it's not the same as, don't get me wrong, but for the last month or so, I'm saying, I think this new era of crypto software, decentralization is all about being a better gold. And if we look at gold, Ivan, over the same period.
Here we go. This gold, it's messy.
Yeah, very messy. It's pretty much flat, in a range of 3 to 4%. It doesn't track anything anymore, gold. It's just a store of value for people that from the last generation. And again, I mean, the gold's been around for thousands of years, but I'm thinking it's a store of value against the dollar, blah, 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 blah. It just doesn't provide anything other than pain in the ass to store, whereas crypto in this next move, I believe, will be more about being a place where people flee. So let me explain that to you, Ivan. If we pull back up the crypto chart. In this era, right, and forgetting that it's slow and that it's expensive to transact, etc. In this era, there is a possibility. I can't believe I'm saying this, and I don't think it'll ever happen. But there is an era where we may feel like fleeing, and that's not because we're worried about persecution, et cetera, or whatever in the United States. It just may be like, fuck it, I want to take 3 years. I've got some money in crypto in a wallet somewhere. I can go kind of mostly off the grid. I'll be back, but I need a couple $100,000, and I'm going to spend it from my wallet. No one really needs to know where I'm at. New York City is the only place in the world I need cash, personally, where I use cash. And I use my debit card everywhere else. But in a world where that possibility truly does exist, and it exists today for people like me, that's pretty cool. And I think just on that alone, we finally got a bottom. And we can see, I think we're going to see in the future any spikes in government silliness and tensions as we have now Iran. We may start to see spikes. I don't know about a trend, but we may start to see spikes. Some of the other cryptos are really truly about, like Ethereum, are truly about utility and about you building on top of them. And there's just way more supply and constant creation of that supply, and their derivatives. So I don't think they're going to have the same kind of tie to world events. But right now they kind of all move in unison. So that's the next up, Ivan, is oil. You told me that oil was going to be the place that I had to park my money in December, outside of tech stocks. And you can see it's rolling over now, but it is second best performing asset of the year after crypto, which proves, for new economy people like me, how hard this year has been.
But do you know why it was the best performer?
What's that?
Do you know why it was the best performer?
Don't know. I mean, obviously it was one of the worst performers leading into.
Exactly. That was the major reason. Yeah. Usually after a big correction.
Yeah. And then third, which brings me to third, which is tech. So, tech has still been the place to hide besides, and obviously tech being a derivative of crypto as well. But you can see that tech has also, number three. And that's kind of where we've been talking about. And I think we have just massive amounts of supply coming onto the market. So I think overall the market's doing well. I'm considering Pinterest, Uber, Lyft, Slack coming out. Everybody's filing to go public. Can't blame people. It was time. I mean, it was overdue. And we can see from the performance, other than I think Pinterest this year, which kind of gapped up and went, most of these have just fallen flat on their face. And now even Pinterest has come right back. I think they missed their number. I don't know. So I think the hottest one has been non-tech, the Beyond Meat, BYND, which is kind of a tech company because God forbid,
kind of a biotech, I would say.
Yeah, it's a combo because to trick everybody into believing it's meat is more magic and tech than it is goddamn food. So rather interesting to see how this year is played out. So Ivan, let's go to like what you see that could potentially work this week. So that's kind of, I think with the flat 200-day moving average, people need to do a lot less. But within that framework of doing a lot less, Ivan, what are you seeing?
I agree. And last week we talked about it. Generally, industries that have no exposure to China are outperforming, and we continue to see that. We continue to see relative strength in software names and in biotech names.
Yeah, that will only go on so long. There's because without China, you can't grow endlessly either. So I think that story kind of, that looks great.
Yeah, some of the biotech names we mentioned last week. This one is one of them.
That looks beautiful. So they are therapies, hormone deficiency. Well, who doesn't have hormone deficiency?
Yeah, it doesn't matter what they do. It's just they don't have China exposure right now, and that seems to be the catalyst.
Those Chinese have their hormone deficiencies too.
Yeah, I don't know if they're allowed to sell in China because China is usually very restrictive.
It was a bad joke, Ivan, I know. Okay. So ASND, yep.
We also talk about Pure. It's kind of it's showing relative strength. Look, the S&P is below its.
A lot of hedgies calling on that one. It's read a lot of research, still over my pay grade, but their competitor got bought. The people
premium, yes,
that pitch me feel it's a $200 stock, but again, it just losing $3 a year, these things don't get me excited.
Yeah.
This is one that I owned last year, kind of got stopped out a few
We
times.
talked about it last week. Big breakout here.
Here's why it's interesting, Ivan, is back in September last year when I got stopped out, we can see that the gap up happened up to 22. And then, because of the whole market malaise at the end of last year, I kind of just, I can't own everything, kind of just stopped out of it, and then just didn't come back for the second breakout. And this one's real right now. In a choppy market, this one now has gone much higher. It's up to 20.
Yeah, I mean, on Monday it was announced that they're being added to the S&P 600.
Okay, got it. So you can pull out to a monthly, Ivan, there.
And then in addition, they had a very high short interest, so that definitely helped.
So it's getting right back into its IPO prices of 2004. So, back in 2004, this had high hopes. So, this is an interesting company. It's just, I know it's in the cancer space. I know a lot of doctors know this name. So if you have a friend that are doctors, take a look, especially in oncology, take a look at the company, ask your doctor friends, and ping me. But anyways, breakout. What else, Ivan?
I mean, as I said, there are quite a few biotechs, and this is another one.
Sorry, Ivan. This is I'm embarrassed. This is the one that I got stopped out last year on the breakout. Go back to this fall last.
This one? I don't know.
I think, this one. And it just kind of went sideways for 6 months, up above 18, and then fell back into the 14. Felt good that I just kind of taken my loss, and then boom. This is the cancer one for inflammatory. So again, if you talk to doctors, go to the monthly, Ivan. I apologize, everybody. Yeah, this is the one that's breaking out. It's massive. So this is the one that I kind of hoping to get a pullback, and if anybody's doing some work on this, forward it to Ivan and I on some research. But this is the real deal. Go back to the daily, Ivan. Let's look at some numbers on this. Yeah, the losses are dropping. Again, these are not easy to own because they have the losses. Okay, some more, Ivan?
Some more, I don't know any more biotechs.
The
other one, this one also. No, it was a different one. Let's see.
Okay, but let's get what other sectors, Ivan? I see.
Well,
software. I'm doing. Zscaler continues to execute on the Workday's behemoth of a company, but it's trading at a massive multiple. Yeah, CyberArk, another leading software stock. I thought this Smarter, SMRT, I think it is, spreadsheet company, enterprise, kind of an open source. No, what the hell is this ticker symbol?
Oh, smart, yeah. Smart.
This looks like a really tight, IPO last year, really tight base, just kind of perking itself. So I think that's interesting. Anything else stand out to you, Ivan? And Danny liked this one. Danny did a lot of work for me on this in December on my blog.
There are quite a few names. I mean, we have Proficient.
Yeah, the ones that are under follow. What is it? 137 followers on StockTwits. You can see what I like. Ivan, just go through that.
Let's see. Proficient, like Coupa Software is doing. I mean, all of these names, by the way, have very stretched valuations. So in case the market panics, they will have a 20, 30, 40% pullbacks. So
this could easily fall back into the $80 base.
Yeah.
Problem is it's done a few times in any kind of market sell-off. So again, I don't love the risk reward, but if the market perks, these things will go. These are the leaders if the market perks. If the market perks and people feel comfortable owning.
These are the only remaining leaders, software, because we lost semiconductors. As you can see, they had a huge breakout to new all-time highs.
So last week, Ivan, was a bad week, huh? Even last week.
This is a monthly chart.
Yeah.
Last week, yeah, for sure. And then you see just in 4 weeks, they're down more than 20%. And
people are trapped. I think a lot of people are trapped. I've been watching on stocks with a lot of people saying they have to bounce. Stocks do not have to bounce. It is a misnomer.
So, yeah, if this level is lost, I mean,
Yeah, and the trade war is just getting started. I mean, people don't understand that this is going to go on for 2 years possibly, and then people are going to change their orders. You got fabs that were being built that everything may slow down. I never liked semis personally. I just don't. Wow, that was a nasty break. That was the news of the Apple settlement. They've given it all back. Oh my goodness. This is the danger of playing our plays where everybody's tied to an event.
Look at NVIDIA, one of the big leaders in a few years.
Yeah. And so I think what we're also seeing with crypto, this is a good reminder, Ivan, is that derivatives aren't working. So in that first Bitcoin bubble, NVIDIA, it was a safe play, right? Because they were making machines for crypto, right? In this next, the crypto's doubled here and they tripled some of them in the last 3 months, and we can see NVIDIA dropping. So they're not participating in this. If you look at overstock, all the stocks that were like, AMD's been the strongest chip stock because of gaming. But if you look at even overstock, the poster boy for coming up with whatever's hot as their whatever industry's hot, they make up their business around. What's his name? Paul, whatever the lunatic running this company is. And he wrote up that crypto boom in 17 from 10 to 80, sucked everybody in. There's no fucking crypto. You can't just say you're crypto. And that's what's beautiful about Bitcoin is there's a lot of, definitely was a bubble, definitely was a bear market again. But in this, if you go back and look at Bitcoin, Ivan, you can see all these fake stocks that peaked when Bitcoin peaked have continued to drop. And now Bitcoin is basically, if it bases in here, it's, in my opinion, at all-time highs, because all those people in the last 3 months of that run from 8,000 to 20,000 have been wiped out. I mean, in my opinion, which is freaking me out, is we're literally, save for a month of CNBC hype and the true bubble, we're literally back at all-time highs. You have that. I think once you get above 12,000, people are going to say 20,000 matters. It just doesn't. It is eating through resistance like crazy. Now, the question is, it happened so fast. Is this just a bear market rally? Nobody knows. But my intuition is we won't see these prices, below 4,000. And I think, you can't chase it up here, but I think we're in some kind of newer decentralized paradigm post Trump. So we'll see. That's all I had on my head today, Ivan. For people that follow us at the Market Wisdom, Ivan, I did set up a room. If you go to my Twitter account, Ivan, you can. I pinned it at the top of my Twitter. People, if you want access to Ivan and I, and are a little too cheap to pay for Market Wisdom, you can go to our room right there at the top. Ivan, if you click on that, you can just sign up on the web at Linsanity Room. What's that? Yeah, I'll be done in a sec. There it is. So $7.99. Ivan and I are answering questions, mostly me. We share links early, kind of some banter, long form messaging. I think it's really easy. $7.99 a month. All right. And I think that's it, Ivan. We will talk next week, and I'll see you this week. I'll be on the island somewhere.
Yeah. All right.
Thanks.